What's up next is animating, and you can build a very elaborate scene and import characters. First, let's see how to render out this image. If we can render out this image, we can add animation to this scene, and then we could import a character and make a little scene out of this. To add this functionality to your project, and you have to do it per project, you need to add a new package and understand what a package is a little bit. Package is a grouping of functionality that you could import into a project so you could do more with that project. One thing that you want to do would be to render out a still image or a whole animation. Go to Window, Package Manager. And here's your package manager. Go to Unity, select Unity Registry Packages, and we're about to do a search for the package, the recorder. To get the recorder going, you've selected the Unity Registry, and you would type in the search field, record, and you'll come up with recorder. To get it into your project, click on install. To remove any package, you would come back here, select that package, and click on remove. I don't want to remove it. I want to render a single frame and then animate this object and then render out an animation. Click and close the package window. To take a snapshot of this object, what you want to do is go to your camera and align your camera to this view. Because select your camera, go to Game Object, Align with View. Now, if you're not seeing your object, selecting the camera, and under its inspector for clipping plane near, set that down to 0. And it's not going to stay at 0. It'll go to some small percent, and now you can see it. If this is a shot you want, and you select the camera and go to Game Object, Align with View, and you see it here. Now, the clipping plane, though, with this camera selected, if you increase the clipping plane to, let's say, 0.3, you can see the object disappears from here. And that's because the clipping plane is clipping away the object. There it is. This is the view that will be rendered out. Go to the Game tab. You have different settings under the Game tab. Right now my ratio, my scale is a little bigger. I'm setting my scale down here. Instead of free aspect ratio, I can select a 16:9 aspect ratio or full HD. Using the scroll wheel, you could zoom in and zoom out. To get this recorded, to get a snapshot, of course, you could take a screenshot of this. The goal, though, is to create a whole animation. To do this, go to Window, General, and move on down to Recorder. Open up the Recorder window. To start the process of recording, whether it's going to be a single image or animation, click on Add Recorder and select what type of recording do you want. Animation clip, movie, image sequence. I'm going to select an image sequence, even though I just want one image. Image sequence. Capture what? Use the game view. Output size, match what's in the window size, the game view, or select a different format size. I'm going to match the game view. Media file type. The output type will be a PNG file. What's going to be the name of this file? Image underscore the take and which frame number. I think that's an okay name. I might call mine after the object, so it's easier to recognize. It's going to be saved here. You could change the location by clicking the recording location and picking a new folder. I think where it's going to save it, the recordings directory, is a great place, and this could be take number 1. Right before I hit this big red button that will start the recording, there's a few other settings up here that are important. Playback speed, constant or variable. I use a constant playback speed, so everything's even. You can select the target frame rate. You want to do something at 60 frames per second. I'm going to leave it at 30 frames per second. And cap the frame rate so it doesn't go faster than 30 frames per second. Under record mode, instead of manual where you're clicking to begin and end, you could select single frame, which is something I'm interested in doing, frame interval or time interval, starting at 1 second going to 2 seconds, or starting at 0 seconds and going 10 seconds. I'm going to select single frame because that's why I was here. Later on, using a frame interval or a time interval, we'll get an animation sequence. The last step is to click this red button. And that's it. The one image has been created. going to your project folder, wherever you have it on your hard drive in that particular project, going to recordings, and here's an image that was recorded. There's still a lot more to understand within the game engine, adjusting lights, adjusting special effects, doing animation, changing the background, or knocking out this background totally. However, you have successfully rendered a single image out of the game engine. If you could do one image, you could do multiple images. This is a great start to recording animation in Unity.